The rookie tight end Daniel Bellinger is heading to the PUP list. It's unfortunate. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We're going to break down everything surrounding Daniel Bellinger. The news came out this morning, real early this morning. It was a shitty text to wake up to. I saw it, woke up, and then Daniel Bellinger is going to be on the PUP, and it sounds like he can be elevated anytime. Zach Rosenblatt, he tweeted it out this morning. He said the Giants put rookie tight end Daniel Bellinger with a quad injury on the PUP list today. He can be activated at any point between now and the start of the season. If not, he'll have to miss a minimum of 4 weeks. So if he starts the 2022 NFL season on the PUP list week 1, he'll be out for 4 weeks. And the Giants, they're razor thin already at the tight end spot. Don't really have any proven NFL talent in that room. So this injury to Bellinger, who was running with the ones, blows. Injuries blow. It sucks. I wish we could just play Madden and turn the injuries off, but that's the life of being an NFL player and an NFL fan. Look, injuries are going to happen no matter what. They're inevitable. It just seems like for the New York Football Giants, they happen more often than not. Later on in the show, we're going to look at 4 guys I think the Giants could look to sign in NFL free agency, because I think they need to get a body in pretty quick. Training camp's coming up. They're thin at tight end. We'll show you that depth chart in a second. But let's wish Daniel Bellinger a speedy recovery. Let's show him some love, because he was that number 1 tight end we've been looking for a while. He's looked good in off-season workouts. So type 45 in the comments section to wish Daniel Bellinger a speedy recovery. When you look at this tight end room, there's a lot of faces that you probably never heard of before this offseason. Daniel Bellinger and Ricky Seals-Jones, in my opinion, were going to be tight end 1A and tight end 1B. Bellinger's been getting the reps with the first teams in offseason organized activities in mini camps, and he's caught the eye of Brian Daboll. You also have Jordan Akins, who you signed in NFL free agency, spent the last couple of years with the Houston Texans. Austin Allen was an undrafted free agent. He's now going to have to play in training camp, and Chris Myriak might actually get some actual snaps. The Giants, they need to sign a tight end. With only 4 guys on the roster heading into training camp, you just need more bodies at that position to get through camp. That's what they call camp bodies for. But I do believe the Giants could go out and sign a tight end that could make this roster, especially if Bellinger is going to be on the PUP list to start week 1. Because are we really confident that a tight end 1 and tight end 1B duo of Jordan Akins and Ricky Seals-Jones is going to get the job done for the New York Giants in the early part of the season? I might be in the minority, but I don't think so. Seals-Jones has talent. Akins has talent. I like what they do as receiving threats, but they're not really true tight ends that like to block, and I don't know if they fit this offense all too well. I do like Seals-Jones, more than I do like Jordan Akins. We'll get to those 4 free agent targets in a second, but this is why you subscribe, because when anything happens surrounding the New York Football Giants, we get in the lab, me, my producer, Jeffrey Cooperstein, and get you guys a video ASAP. YouTube.com/NYGiantsTV. Make sure you hit that big red button. We're trying to get to 11,000 subscribers by week 1 of the NFL season. I'm challenging all Giants fans right now. Hit that big red button and get free daily videos on the latest Giants news and rumors. The number 1 free agent target I think the Giants could go out and look to sign in NFL free agency is Eric Ebron. I think he's the best on the market. I think he fits this offense the best in the sense that he's the most true receiving threat of these guys. It's just back in 2021, this past year, he didn't play all that well, and he had some injuries pop up. Only 12 receptions for 84 yards, 7 yards per catch, and 1 touchdown. But the prior 3 seasons, he was a reliable threat in the receiving game. 56 grabs in 2020, 5 touchdowns in 2019. He had 31 grabs and 3 touchdowns in 2018. He was one of the best receiving threats at the tight end position in the NFL. 66 grabs for 13 touchdowns. The Giants have been linked to Ebron since he entered the NFL draft. It was him, Odell Beckham. Who were they going to choose? They rode with OBJ. That was a good pick. But Ebron has wide receiver skills, and he is only 29 years old. He still has tread left on those tires, and I think he fits this Brian Daboll offense because he's not just an inline tight end that would have to be attached to the line of scrimmage every play. He can go in the slot. He can play outside. He's a big red zone target that I think Daniel Jones could rely on. I think he'd be a good guy the Giants could target in NFL free agency to replace Daniel Bellinger if he's going to be out for the first 4 weeks of the NFL season. If you want a veteran, what about Jared Cook. He's been in the NFL for a very long time. The 35-year-old tight end spent last year with the Los Angeles Chargers, and he was productive. Played in every game but one, 16 contests, had 48 grabs, 564 yards, 11.8 yards per catch, and 4 touchdowns. He would easily come in and be the number 1 tight end on this roster. He's done it with multiple teams, the Raiders, the Chargers, the New Orleans Saints. He's been everywhere, and he's been successful. And if you're looking for a veteran, Cooks is the guy, someone that could come in and digest this playbook right away. Be a pro's pro. That's what Jared Cook is. He's helped a lot of young quarterbacks in his NFL career, kind of being that safety blanket over the middle. That's what a young QB needs. A guy like Jared Cook, and Daniel Jones needs him. He's athletic, he's big, he's strong, he's fast, he's got reliable hands, and he's still a productive football player at the age of 35. But I'll ask Giants fans this question. Pick a tight end for me. Type JC if you're rolling with Jared Cook, or if you think Eric Ebron is the guy the Giants should sign in NFL free agency, you can go down in the comments and type EE. It's a sad day because Daniel Bellinger got hurt, the rookie sensation, but we've got a deal for you guys. We are hooking you up with some of these sick throwback jerseys that were announced yesterday that the Giants will wear 2 times this year. We've got everybody available. Saquon, Daniel Jones, Kadarius Toney, but this is the one I would get. Xavier McKinney. You always got to have a second jersey guy, someone that's not as popular, and I think Xavier McKinney is that guy. All you got to do is go to chatsports.com/Giants throwback. Go there now because they're selling out fast. People have been hitting me up. Marshall, some aren't available in my size. That's how fast they're selling. You got to go today. Chatsports.com/Giants throwback. I'll have the link to that in the comments and description of today's video. What about another vet that's kind of on the back end or the final curve, the final 200 of his NFL career, if you catch my drift? And Jimmy Graham, who spent the last couple of years with the Chicago Bears. Last year, not a good season for Jimmy Graham. He had some injuries pop up, only 14 grabs for 167 yards and 3 touchdowns. But he has been, as we all know, one of the best receiving tight ends of all time. In 2020, he was solid. 50 grabs, almost 500 yards, 8 touchdowns. The year before, 40 grabs, 450 yards. And the year before that, 55 grabs, almost 650 yards and 2 touchdowns. But you got to look at 2021. 14 grabs. Jimmy Graham at this point, he's washed. He's over the hill. He's not the same guy that you remember splitting the scene with the New Orleans Saints and Drew Brees was just throwing him jump balls and he was dunking on the goalpost in the end zone. He's not really that guy anymore. I wouldn't be upset if the Giants go out and sign a guy like him because he is a vet and he could teach some of these young guys some things. But I would lean more towards one of the first guys in Eric Ebron and Jared Cook over going with Jimmy Graham. But hey, if we've learned anything this offseason, anything is possible. But I just want to do this. I hate injuries, man. It sucks. The Giants have been one of the most injury-prone teams that I can remember in the past couple of years, whether it's Saquon, Sterling Shepard, Kenny Golladay, Kadarius Toney, Daniel Jones. It seems like a Giants player is always hurt, and now it's Daniel Bellinger. If you hate injuries, I want you to type F injuries in the comment section. Spam it. Maybe the more we get, the less injuries we'll have to deal with later down the road. What about a guy that not a lot of people are talking about? Someone that could come in, and Ricky Seals-Jones would still be the starter, but he could help him as a blocker and as a vet. That's Jesse James. Everywhere he's been a pro's pro. The stats will not blow you away. Just 21 grabs in the past 2 seasons, and then 16 grabs in 2019. But he's a pros. He's been great with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a good locker room guy for the Chicago Bears. At this point, you just need to add another body to this room because it's such a thin tight end depth chart. And we're in July. It's almost August. Training camp is almost here. The tight end market, and really every position's market in NFL free agency, is really dry. You're really picking between guys that are debating if they want to retire. Do they want to play on veteran minimum 1-year deals? Or do they even still want to play in the NFL? Those are the guys you're looking for. Well, I think the Giants should go out and sign someone. I'm not sure they will. But if I was Joe Schoen, you cannot enter training camp with Jordan Akins and Ricky Seals-Jones, Austin Allen, and Chris Myriak as your only 4 tight ends on the roster. So I want you to answer this question. Name a tight end you want to add. Maybe you don't want to go the free agency route. Maybe you want to trade for someone. Give me a name, somebody you'd like to see the New York Football Giants add to the tight end room prior to NFL training camp. I appreciate everybody that's made it this far in the video and made New York Giants now a part of your day today. We are getting closer and closer to training camp. We're less than a week away. That means preseason's right around the corner, and the NFL season is almost here. I appreciate everybody that watches this late in the video, especially in July. Let's do a real one roll call. If you made it this far, type real one in the comment section so I can know if you're a real one.